Hey beautiful people, how are you? My name is Connor. You're watching ThrivingMinimalist.com, and it has been 2 weeks since I made a video on this channel. So I wanted to take some time and give you an update on what's been going on for me, and also talk about how I'm healing minimally, my minimalist approach to my healing process. Right now I'm inside of Winnie. This is our RV that Brittany and I shared for a really long time. Brittany is just putting out a video on why we transitioned from an RV into an apartment most recently. But man, this is a great space to make videos, and it just started to rain, so hopefully you can hear that. It's just, it's absolutely beautiful. So 3 weeks ago, I fractured my rib. It was about 3 weeks ago. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago just letting you all know that I'd fractured my rib and that it was a bummer, and also it was gonna be okay. And since that time, it has been very challenging. My movement practices are so important to me. I notice how much I process both emotionally and physically when I move. I also have a lot of my relationships built into movement. Not just with Brittany, but with other human beings in my life. A lot of the relationship space that I share is in acrobatics or on the dance floor, and just doing things that I didn't take for granted, but it's certainly much easier to see how important they are when they're not available to you, like going to the water and just jumping in, or running along a trail with a friend, or whatever it is. These really kind of simple things that were in my life that I haven't been able to participate in. So during the last few weeks, I have been really tapping into some deeper healing. I feel like I'm healing my rib from the inside. Like the healing is actually coming right at the center of my heart and slowly working its way into the rib. But it's starting with all of this stuff inside. And a few people have mentioned to me, you know, to think about why I chose this, or what this is doing for me, or, you know, like why this is serving me right now in my life. There was a time in my life where I didn't like that kind of language, because it felt too woo-woo for me, you know, like everything is perfect, the universe is taking care of you no matter what it is, that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, that kind of thing. That was kind of a big turnoff to me. Not even that long ago, actually. Even like a year ago, I was still kind of having trouble with that type of language. But the truth is, I do feel like I chose to do this deeper healing, and I couldn't do it without this space having been created for me. So regardless of whether the universe conspired to set this up for me, or if I unconsciously was plotting this all along, doesn't really matter. I think the point is that I am where I am now, and that I choose to be here. That I am not a victim. That I am taking the opportunities that are available to me in this space, and focusing on those, rather than focusing on the discomfort or the victimhood that one could take on from a situation like this. And that to me is what being self-empowered, being attuned with oneself, being more in control of our internal environment is all about. So that's what I've been choosing to do, and a lot of my internal healing has come out through crying, through writing, through feeling really lost. But at the same time as feeling lost and in these spaces where I kind of feel hopeless, there's this thread that I'm going to use this to heal. I'm going to use this to grow. I'm going to find myself within the pain, within the discomfort. I'm going to understand the pain more, find more compassion for that pain, and find that centered place where pain and pleasure and all of these other emotions can be brought into in a fuller way, so that we're not just the pain. We are also these absolutely incredible, complex, and beautiful creatures, every single one of us. And that when we bring discomfort and pain and challenging situations into those places, what we find is a deeper connection with ourselves, and I think that that connection with ourselves kind of feeds into all other areas of life. I mean, I feel much more connected with the world, with the universe, with you, because I feel much more connected with me. So that's kind of where I've been at internally and emotionally. What I've been up to during this time, because so much of my time is spent doing movement, I have a lot more time. And a lot of my time in movement is also spent in partnership with Brittany. And she is continuing her movement practice, which I 100% support and encourage. Because her happiness is my happiness. And that's always going to be true. So we really support each other. Even if we can't align in exactly what the other person wants to do, we support each other in following our happiness through, because we found that that brings more happiness into our relationships and into our individual relationship. So I've been having a lot more time on my own, and I sometimes have trouble being by myself. Sometimes I really want to be by myself, and I love myself, and I love spending time with myself, and I love doing things like art or writing or watching a movie or taking a bath. I love those things. And I also want to choose them. I want to feel really full in myself when I choose to be alone. And sometimes being alone when I don't feel full is super challenging for me. And that's one thing that I've been able to learn more about. I feel like I need to get closer to you because the rain is really picking up. And I imagine it's getting quite loud for you, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Maybe I'll bring the camera a little closer here. Here we go. So one thing that I've been putting more energy and more time into during this time alone is business, and being really excited about my business with Brittany. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you don't already have the knowledge, that we have a channel together. Brittany and I share a channel on relationships, and we just love this channel. It means so much to us. I feel like I share a lot more there on like who I really am, beyond just the minimalism kind of stuff that I talk about here on this channel. And so it's a different side that I share over there, and I'd love for you to check it out if it interests you. We also just launched this membership site last month that's just full of some really awesome content. So I'd also encourage you, if you're interested, in checking that out as well. And I'll put the description, or I'll put the links in the description box underneath of this video. So I've been turning my focus more towards business, more towards self-energy and creating more energy for me. I've also been going inward a lot more, and that's been feeling really, really good. The process of healing for me as a minimalist and as someone who's really body aware, and who, you know, I've also taken years to establish a connection with health and what that really means to me in a lot of different areas. So I feel like I'm very attuned to what health feels like, and maybe have an alternative approach to healing than the mainstream. I want to share with you some specifics of what I'm doing to help speed the recovery of my rib. I was hoping to be healed in 3 weeks, and whether, you know, it's a rib contusion, like I have a really severely bruised area there, or it's a rib fracture, or it's a dislocation, all of those things require the same prescription, which is basically rest. You don't put on a cast, you don't really do anything except manage the pain and rest. So I haven't been to the standard doctor. I haven't gotten an x-ray. I never went to the emergency room. I never got a prescription. And that is a choice that I've made for me. And I recognize not everyone wants to do it that way, but that feels really important to me that I know that I don't have to do it that way. It's not that I wouldn't ever go to a hospital, it's just that it's not my preference. And unless I felt like I really have to, like say I needed to set a bone, or I really needed some type of prescription medication that you cannot get without going to the hospital, I would do that. But my first choice is to check in with myself and ask myself what I need. My second choice is to connect with a very close and dear friend of mine who's a holistic healer and a medical doctor, because I trust her. We have an established connection. She knows my history, she knows my life. I trust her. She herself is very vibrant, very healthy. You know, if you go to some doctors, some emergency rooms, the people who are telling you what to do with your body, they sometimes look really unhealthy and sometimes give off this vibe of like super low vibration, super distressed physical or emotional presence. That isn't a very exciting person for me to place my trust in. So this person excites me to work with, and I recently reached out to her because I just felt like I kind of understand the steps that I can take with the knowledge that I have in order to heal, but I wanted to feel like I had support there. I wanted to feel like I really had all of the right things in place, and I wanted to get a little more knowledge. So I reached out to her and paid for a consult, which we did over Skype, and it was just lovely. She recommended that I take a few days, as in three days, to do a fast, and in this case that included eating, but it was still technically a fast. So what I did is I just did one meal per day for 3 days, and that was a mango meal. So fresh fruit. It was about 1,000 calories per day in one meal. So I drank really good, high quality alkaline water, quite a bit of it, all through the day up until maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock, and then ate about 1,000 calories worth of mangoes, and then rested, kind of napped, and then drank more water, and then did the same thing for 2 more days. And what I noticed is not only did I feel more sensations in that area, like my body was focusing more on it, but my heart space started opening more. I started feeling even more connected with some of these challenging spaces that I was feeling, and I felt like I could bring more of that self-led place that I was talking about earlier into those uncomfortable places. I felt a lot of shifts happening for me. And a big reason that people fast is, it's just really simple. A huge portion of our energy goes to digesting food. And if we can divert some of that energy when we are needing some healing to occur into those areas, it speeds the recovery along quite a bit. There's plenty of research that you can Google about fasting and healing. Maybe some of the most mind-blowing are the healing that can be done around cancer and fasting. And sometimes I've mentioned that to people and they're just totally blown away. So I would really recommend, if you're unclear about fasting and the benefits of that, that you just Google something like fasting to cure cancer or something like that and see what comes up for you. So this is a really, really helpful thing. I broke my fast yesterday, and since then I have noticed that the pain has gone down considerably. The other reason that I reached out to her, like I said, is not just to get tips on how to heal faster, but also to have some validation on what I was experiencing. I've been in immense pain and discomfort. And you know, if you've ever been in a very uncomfortable place, it's sometimes nice to just have someone say, that makes sense. That makes sense that you're feeling that much pain. It's painful what you're going through. Yes, yes, yes. It's okay that you're right where you're supposed to be. Your body is doing the right things. And she did kind of help me feel that way. She let me know that a lot of people actually go to the doctor to get morphine shots for rib contusions and rib fractures because the pain is that intense. Morphine-based medicine, opioid-based medication is not something that I want to put into my body. I have had a lot of opiate medication recreationally, and it's just not something that I'm comfortable getting back into. That being said, it's an incredibly powerful medication for pain management. And without it, I've been really struggling. So what I have been using that I thought was maybe interesting for you all is something called CBD oil. And that is a cannabinoid oil. So it's a non-THC cannabis extract. And it comes in a couple of different forms. There's an alcohol-based tincture, and then there's an oil. And I was getting the oil, and I had an alcohol-based tincture. And you just take a few drops of it, and it has been shown to reduce inflammation. It also, coincidentally, is used in healing cancer or pain management within cancer treatment. So it's kind of becoming a pretty popular product. It's legal in most places, or it may be legal everywhere in the US. I just don't know that for sure, so I didn't want to say that if that's not true. But I know that it's legal in most places because it's a non-THC substance. It's basically like hemp. Like hemp is legal. It's the plant, the marijuana plant that's been soaked or joined with oil or with alcohol. So something like, you know, rose oil or like essential oils that you might get. It's basically like that, but it's with a hemp plant. Some people do make it out of the buds and with THC, but the ones that I was getting were THC free. Incredible stuff. I was taking that a few times a day, particularly at nighttime when the inflammation, the swelling felt the most intense. And that's been really helpful. I've also been taking some ibuprofen, which helps with inflammation. In the last few days, I haven't taken either of those products, and that also feels really good for me. I want to ideally let my body manage its own pain, because pain is a message to our system that it needs more attention. But sometimes the pain messages get so strong that it's taking more energy kind of away from the healing process. That's my interpretation and experience. So sometimes I think it is helpful to have these certain products around that can help us manage the pain so that we can lower our stress and bring more healing, which comes from a calm place, back into our system. And those two products helped me feel like more in a calm place. By the way, the CBD does not get you stoned. It doesn't get you high. It's not like smoking pot. It's not anything like that. You may feel a little bit of effects, like maybe it'll be a very mild sleep aid or a very mild anxiety reliever. But for the most part, it works mostly with inflammation, at least in my case. What else have I been doing? I've really been trying to rest. And it's interesting because during this time of rest, I have more hours in my day, like I said. And it's been challenging sometimes to find the motivation to do things like business, artwork, writing, these things that bring just a good feeling back into my system, because I feel like, yeah, I'm creating something, I'm being productive, this feels good, it's life-giving. Sometimes it's been challenging, I think, because I'm really used to finding confidence and motivation in movement. A lot of my identity is in being an acrobat, and I can't be an acrobat right this second, and that feels hard. So parts of me going inward have just been like not doing anything. I also think that those three things I mentioned, you know, business, writing, artwork, they all take energy. And I've been needing a lot of that energy to just be here right now. Just here, 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 like all for me, all for me, all for me, all for me. I've also been getting a lot of really loving, healing energy from Brittany and from other relationships in my life, and I've been asking for it. And I think this is really important for me to share, because sometimes we want something and we don't ask for it, but people want to give it. And if we just asked for it, we'd get it, and they'd be happier because it was on their heart too. And there's been times when I felt like, oh, I don't want to ask for a hug right now because I just want someone to give me a hug. And I think that's like us trying to take care of other people. And that's really sweet and really generous. But it's okay to take care of ourselves too. And if we're needing something from someone else, like, can I just cry on you right now? Can you just hug me right now? Can you just come over and cuddle with me right now? I mean, those are the things that for me come up that I feel like, oh, I don't want to ask it for it because I don't want to make someone do it if they don't want to. I've kind of pushed myself to ask a little bit more from the relationships that I have, and I've been just so sweetly blown away by how much love there is for me in the world. And I think this is true for all of us. Like, there's so much for us. Sometimes we just have to reach out and ask for what we need and what we want right then. I've had some of the most beautiful experiences in the last few weeks with my relationships, and I'm so grateful for those. I just feel so much gratitude, particularly for Brittany. She's held so much space for me, so much healing, positive space, and I've been able to do so much more in relationship with her than I would be able to do just on my own. Now, I want to also say, like, I've been able to do a ton on my own that I'm not able to do with anyone else because it comes from in here. But our relationships they make us up. They're crazy important to the human experience. You know, humans are highly social creatures. We really need each other. We thrive from each other. We, in essence, are each other. We are our relationships. It's been a crazy journey. And that is why I'm making this 20-minute video, because it's not like a 3-minute thing. I can be like, here's what's going on in my life. It's been a crazy journey. And I have not felt moved to make a YouTube video. Partly because I feel so connected with me that if I'm going to make a video, it has to be crazy authentic and real. And there's no other video that I can make right now on this channel than this one right here. Me just sharing, like, what's up for real in my life. I think on this channel, I set it up initially with the intention of doing it a certain way. And part of that was continuing a certain theme of maybe minimalism or simple living, some self-love stuff, but mostly sticking to a type of protocol in order to build the channel as a niche channel and have it really blossom. And I feel like I've really stuck to that in an awesome way. I also feel at times kind of limited because I'm a very authentic person. I share very authentically. And a lot of times on this channel, I'm only presenting a little teeny slice of me. And I think I'd like to change that. I think I need to. In order to continue doing videos on this channel, I have to be able to share more of me. It doesn't mean that I'm going to move away from all the other things that I've been sharing on this channel. It just means that I'm also going to include more of the real that is Connor, that is my life. And my hope is that you're down with that. And I also recognize that you might not be, and that's totally cool too. I have to do it for me. So if you're still watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're down with that, and just want to say thanks. So much love to you. I'm gonna keep rocking out this journey right now, this super freaking challenging situation. I'm gonna go through it the best that I can and find the most love out of it all as I possibly can get from it. I hope you enjoyed the rain. It got pretty serious there for a minute. So much love to you. I will check in soon. Check out ConnorandBrittany.com. Check out our membership site. Check out our YouTube channel. I put in a lot of love into that channel. It's a totally different point of view on me and on my relationship with Brittany than maybe you expected, and I would love to share that with you as part of presenting more of me to you. So much love. Take good and great care of yourselves. We'll check in soon. Mwah! Bye.